Once upon a time, there was a tortoise who had a habit of winning arguments or debates held in the animal kingdom, even if his opponents were bigger, stronger, or had sharper teeth and claws. Today, we'll hear about how he humiliated two of the most arrogant and boastful animals around. Long ago, when the animals still lived together in the great forest, the elephant and the hippopotamus were the two strongest creatures. They boasted about their power every day. "No one can pull me down," roared Elephant, stamping his mighty feet. "No one can drag me from the water," bellowed Hippo, slapping his tail. The smaller animals grew tired of their bragging. They wished someone would humble them. Then came Tortoise, slow, small, and clever. "Leave it to me," he said, smiling. "I will teach them a lesson." The elephant and the hippo continued boasting, and Tortoise decided to start with the elephant. So he went to Elephant and said, "Mighty Elephant, I challenge you to a tug-of-war. We shall see who is strongest." The animals laughed. "Tortoise, you are too small." "Elephant will crush you like an eggshell," said the birds. "You should challenge someone your own size," said a mouse, shaking its head. But Elephant, proud of his strength, agreed. "Very well, little one, tomorrow we will test our strength," he said. That night, Tortoise went secretly to Hippo by the river. "Great Hippo," he said, "I challenge you to a tug-of-war. Tomorrow we shall see who is strongest." Hippo bellowed with laughter. "You, against me." "I accept, little shellback," he replied. The next morning, Tortoise arrived at the meeting place with a long, strong rope. He gave one end to Elephant and said, "Wait here and pull when I shout." Then he carried the other end to Hippo and said the same. Both were very confident and eager to win. They didn't know that they were tied together. After reaching Hippo, Tortoise returned to the middle of the forest and shouted, "Pull!" Elephant began to pull with all his might. At the same time, Hippo, deep in the river, pulled with equal strength. The rope stretched and strained. Elephant dug his feet into the ground. Hippo splashed and kicked in the water. Each thought Tortoise was on the other end of the rope, but in truth, they were pulling against each other. The animals gathered and laughed as they watched Elephant and Hippo struggle and roar. For hours they battled, neither able to win. Finally, exhausted, Elephant stumbled to the clearing. At the same moment, Hippo crawled out of the river. Both glared at Tortoise. "You are stronger than I thought," panted Elephant. "Yes," said Hippo, dripping with water. "You are small, but your strength is mighty." Tortoise only smiled. "Size does not matter. What matters is cleverness." From that day, the animals no longer underestimated Tortoise. Though slow and small, he was respected as one of the wisest of them all. Once upon a time, in a lush green valley nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young and ambitious squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was known throughout the forest for his incredible speed and agility. He could outrun any predator and leap from branch to branch with ease. However, Sammy had a big problem. He was incredibly arrogant and boastful. He would spend his days taunting the other animals, bragging about his skills, and generally being a nuisance. One day, Sammy encountered a wise old owl named Athena, who was perched on a tree branch watching the forest below. "Hey, Athena," Sammy called out, "I bet you can't catch me if I challenged you to a race." Athena turned her head slowly and fixed her sharp eyes on Sammy. "Very well, little squirrel," she said calmly. "Tomorrow at dawn, we shall have a race. The entire forest will watch." Sammy, confident in his abilities, readily accepted the challenge. That night, Sammy couldn't sleep. He was nervous. As the first rays of sunlight peeked through the trees, Sammy raced to the starting line. All the forest animals had gathered to watch the race. Sammy looked back and saw Athena slowly flapping her wings as she took off, her keen eyes focused on the finish line. With a flick of her tail, she disappeared into the trees. Sammy dashed off, his heart pounding with excitement and arrogance. He ran faster than he ever had before, sure that he would easily beat the owl. Suddenly, he heard a loud crack. Startled, Sammy looked up to see that Athena had already reached the top of the tallest tree in the forest. She turned around and hooted softly, "Keep going, Sammy, you're doing great." Realizing that Athena was just teasing him, Sammy became furious. He picked up his pace again, determined to catch up. As he ran, he noticed that the forest seemed strangely quiet. The chirping of birds had stopped, and even the rustling of leaves had ceased. Just when Sammy began to feel uneasy, he heard a loud crash and the sound of breaking branches. Startled, he turned to see a large rock blocking his path. It was too big to jump over and too heavy to move. Sammy hesitated, wondering how he could possibly get past it. Suddenly, he remembered Athena's words, "Keep going. You're doing great." An idea struck him. Sammy turned around and started running in the opposite direction. As he passed the animals, they cheered him on, thinking he was heading towards the finish line. Sammy, with a mischievous grin, played along, waving his tail and acknowledging their cheers. When he reached the starting line, the animals noticed that he had completed the race without realizing it. Athena, who had been watching from above, landed gracefully on a nearby branch. "Well done, Sammy," she said, her voice filled with amusement. "You have indeed outrun me." Sammy, basking in the attention, couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. He had proven himself to be the fastest creature in the forest, but then something unexpected happened. The other animals, instead of being impressed by Sammy's speed, started laughing. Sammy, confused and hurt, asked, "Why are you laughing?" One of the rabbits spoke up, "Sammy, you didn't realize it, but that rock you found was actually a pile of leaves that I and the other animals had gathered for our winter stores. And the tree you jumped over was the one with the softest, fluffiest leaves, perfect for making warm and cozy nests." Sammy's arrogance deflated like a punctured balloon. He had been so focused on beating Athena that he hadn't paid attention to his surroundings. He had run past the finish line without knowing it. Humiliated and ashamed, Sammy apologized to the other animals for his boastfulness. He learned that day that true wisdom lay not just in physical prowess, but also in humility and awareness. From that day forward, Sammy became a changed squirrel. He still loved to run and play, but he did so with a newfound sense of humility and respect for the other animals. And though Athena remained the wisest and most respected creature in the forest, she never forgot the valuable lesson she had learned that day. Sometimes it takes a little humility and wisdom to truly appreciate our strength and abilities.